Howdy y'all, welcome to Nerd Studio. Hey, we're out at the range today, talk about something a little bit different. I'm going to talk to you today about concealed carry. Now there's lots of videos out there, folks that are really knowledgeable on the subject. They can talk about all the tactics and the mechanics and the gear and all of those things. And it's all great stuff. I've watched a ton of it just as you have. But I want to talk to you about kind of a different aspect of it. So if you watch the channel, you know, I don't have sort of the, the prototype body style that they designed this gear for. I'm hourglass shaped, if you will, and I don't mean that in a pleasing way. I don't mean the Marilyn Monroe hourglass, although I've got the legs for it. But anyway, I carry a spare tire. That's where I carry my weight, and I tend to carry weight up here as well. So that creates sort of a concave look to my body. That adds a few complications to concealed carry. I found that if a holster doesn't have good retention, that as I wear a gun throughout the day, as I sit and stand and sit and stand, there is a potential that I will push the gun up out of the holster if it doesn't have decent retention. So I thought I wanted to take a few minutes today and I'd go through the gear that I've tried, the problems I've had with it, and sort of explain where I've landed. So let's do it. Okay, first thing I want to talk to you about is your belt. Now, when I first started carrying my gun concealed, I realized that the standard leather belt, or anything that's just a regular knocking around belt, just didn't cut it. It's not wide enough, not sturdy enough. And did some research and really came down to what you need is a thing called an instructor's belt. Now, it's not a big surprise. I spent a little time as a security guard after I got out of the military, and we wore an instructor's belt. They've come a long way with the Velcro these days, so I want to talk about that and show you the options that I've tried. The first one I tried, I got at Cabela's. Let's see, who made this one? This is actually a Cabela's instructor belt. This is really nice. So essentially, it's wide, made out of good, rigid, reinforced, it's got to be nylon. And it has a particular style of buckle that allows you to ratchet the tension up around you. So it's adjustable to infinity, essentially. There's no holes or anything in the belt, and so you can tighten that up so that you get a good snug fit with your gun, and that's what these instructor belts do the best. This is a good sturdy belt. It's too big for me now. I've lost about 80 pounds since, well, about 60 pounds since I bought this one, so I had to move on. The next one I tried, and this is a good belt by 511 Tactical. Another, works the same way. I've been wearing this off and on. It's a little bit thinner, so that helps with some of my, if I want to carry, say, a set of dress pants or something like that. And then the one I'm wearing now is by Uncle Mike's. Essentially does the same thing, same style buckle. And the important thing is that it allows you to, pull the belt tight so that it snugs up your gun where you need it. And that's really important. So there's your belts. Next, let's talk about the firearms. I've got essentially right now 3 sizes of firearms that I can carry. Full-size duty guns are not going to conceal on me. I've tried my Glock 17, FNS 9, stuff that the PPQ, the VP9, they're all too big. And what happens is the butt of the gun just prints. It prints too much to be considered concealed, and that's just not a good thing. So right now I've got 3 sizes of guns that I carry. The Glock 19, which is going to be your compact mid-size car. Then my latest obsession is the FNS 9C, which is a little bit smaller. The Glock 19 is going to get you 15 rounds. This is going to get you 12. A little bit smaller. And the Glock 26, which is subcompact. Really great for, carrying when you're wearing shorts, that kind of thing. So really small, great gun. With the Glock 43 coming out, hopefully within the next week I'll have one of those, and then I can intelligently talk about pocket pistols and pocket carry and what I've learned about that. I've had some pocket pistols in the past. I don't have one right now. The Beretta Nano and the Smith & Wesson Shield. Just didn't really make sense for me in the way they operated. So traded those away. Excited to try the Glock, and once I've got that, I'll talk a little bit more about pocket carrying. Holsters. When I first started carrying concealed, this was my first holster. This is from a company called Fox. And it was a good start. I like the idea of this large double hooked holster. It really does make the gun ride really nice on your body, and I like that from the get-go. But I soon realized that there were some flaws to this holster that weren't working for me. I'm not saying it's a bad product, I'm just saying for carrying concealed there were some problems. First thing, these hooks are not, they don't secure. That style of hook does not secure on my belt good enough. So I find that over time, as I stand and sit because of my body shape, I can work this holster up off my belt. And so I've stood up and found, let me get a belt here and show you what I mean. So there's the holster on the belt, and I found over time, because of the way my body is shaped, that will happen. And I've stood up and found the holster up like that. Even worse, because of the way my body is shaped and the fact that they don't cover the handguard or the grip, I will work the gun up and down out of this holster, and I've had the gun flop out on the floor when I stand up. So there is no way to adjust the retention on this holster, so that's what you got. These holsters essentially relegated to the range for me. I can't use them for concealed carry. Now, here's another example. This is for the VP9. I didn't bring the VP9 out, but this is from Alien Gear. They have a little better clip system here that locks onto the belt better. And so you've got good hold on the belt. It's not really going anywhere, which means the chub rub isn't going to pull the holster up off the belt. That's nice. It is also, the retention is adjustable here in these screws, so you can actually press the shell up against the gun tighter so you get better retention. A much better option. These holsters are actually, I think, about the same price, if not a little cheaper than the Fox holsters. You get some leather up here. It's a nylon back here. You can back and watch the video Ricky and I did on these Alien Gear holsters. It's a nice product. The one thing I don't, let's see if I can get a gun to slide in here. The one thing I don't like about these holsters is, again, the gun is not covered here, so that can get uncomfortable. Because of the body shape, again, I feel the grip on the gun quite a bit more, and also I'm more prone to catch here. Now, this holster does have better retention than the last one I talked about, but it still can pull out of there. Not as big a problem, better retention, all of that is good. At the end of the day, though, feeling this all day on your skin is not good. Now, what I learned from there, of course, is to wear a wife beater, which I've got one on now, and that does help with rub on the chub from the gun, and so that is much better. But I live in North Carolina. It gets hot here, and that wife beater can, if you're a big guy, can put you into a sweat like nothing else. So it is nice to have an option that you can actually put up against your skin. And that's where this next holster comes in. This is the 2/8 holster this one's for my Glock. I've got other videos out there you can watch on this. This guy solves a bunch of the problems that I've had. First of all, it has full retention. To get the gun out of the holster, you actually have to give it a little twist. What that means is you're rolling around on the floor, you've got chub rub, any of that, you're not going to inadvertently pull the gun out of that holster. The other benefit, it completely pancake covers the grip. So it has a nice suede back, and up against your skin, feels great, not a problem at all. The one downside to that is it is a little less concealed. It pulls a little bit away from your skin. It's a little harder to tuck up under there. One other downside of this holster is this clip. It is, again, not my favorite animal. I have from time to time forgotten to give a good twist and pulled this right up off my belt. That's not good. I wish 2-8 would provide a different clip option here, but what I've done is Frankenstein together a option to that. I took a better clip off of an Alien Gear holster and attached it to my 2-8, and that has solved some of the problem, but it's not a perfect solution. So I'm really hoping that 2-8, and if you guys are out there watching, Nate, do something about your hooks, buddy. You got a great product here. I'd love to see you come up with a full-size tuck holster with your retention system. I would be done buying holsters. That would be it. That would be all the holster I need. Anyway, making it work, right? The other thing I'd like to try here probably is a snap clip here, but this solution is not perfect. It does cause the holster to wiggle a little bit because this clip isn't really built for this system, so not a perfect solution. But hopefully 2-8 will hear this and give us a solution. Other holsters I've tried. Getting ready to do a review on this guy. It's a little more compact. Solves the problem of the hooks. You've got two of them. Nice Kydex holster. Inexpensive again. I like that. I like reviewing inexpensive gear. This one's for the Glock. Not really going to talk much about it today. But the one thing it doesn't solve, it of course leaves the grip completely exposed. But it has a really nice small profile, and that might have some good uses. Going to play with that a bit. We'll do a review on that. It has really good retention. I've tried other things over time. These kind of universal holsters. This one is from holster.com. How about that? It has a nice hook. I believe that is designed to be a tuck holster, so you can tuck a shirt in there. Although I don't know, you tuck your shirt in there, people see this clip. It's a little odd. It's not something I ever do. Not great retention on these holsters, but you know. I do have this little guy. It's kind of been hanging around waiting for the right pocket pistol for a while now, although I don't think that's going to cut it for the Glock 43. So that's where I'm at. Right now my everyday carry holster is a 2-8 holster with sort of Frankensteined up to solve the clip problems, and it's comfortable to carry. Let's talk a little bit about draw and fit. I don't normally make a big deal out of this, but this gun is clear. Just so you know that I'm not up here playing with a loaded weapon, because I'm going to do some kind of things that I would not suggest doing. So I've got my Frankenstein 2-8 holster here. Let me go ahead and show you how I normally put that on, and where I get it all to ride. Playing with my belt here. Excuse me while I straighten my belt. Let me back up here and see if I can, well, we'll just tilt the camera down. Stay with me. Okay, so start out with, well, you're really getting a look at the frame today, aren't you? So I keep the belt nice and loose there. And, whoa, I'm going to lose my britches on camera, folks. So I got my wife beater on today. But basically, most of the advice says you want to carry your gun at like, you know, here. So you get a good look at that. Well, a couple of things. First of all, I don't have the flexibility to do an appropriate draw from that location. I started carrying here was all I could manage. As I lost weight, the gun is more appropriately moved around my body. But where we're at today is right about there. So that's maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock. I don't know, you guys decide. Pull the clock out and look for me, would you? Then I give the belt a good tighten. Get my gun out. Get it slid in there. And I like the forward cant. I've learned to sort of enjoy that for the draw. It's starting to work for me better, but that's about where I carry it. Some of this depends on the gun I've got, but once I do that, I should have a fairly good conceal on the gun. Now, if you know it's there, you're probably going to spot a little bit of it. Not a big deal. We have a, you know, we're allowed open carry in the state. I think even Texas, I think now. You guys have had that law passed, if I'm not wrong. But anyway, I've had to learn really to be careful with what shirts I buy, and you know, you got to learn to loose-fitting clothes are the dress of the day, really, to keep your gun concealed properly. But particularly so if you're egg-shaped the way I am. So that's basically how I get the gun on. Let's talk a little bit about the draw. You know, I'm not an expert on this. This is just really more about me telling you of the specifics about how I've had to work through this in being my size and shape. You know, like I've said in other videos, I have injuries, I have mobility issues, but you can't let that stop you from enjoying the sport, enjoying shooting, and you can't let it convince you that you're not allowed to or shouldn't be out carrying your gun concealed. The reality is, I think I had somebody post in one of my videos, and he's absolutely right. Guns are the great equalizer. It makes all men equal, and you know, that's what it's all about. So let me talk a little bit about you know, how I've had to sort of adjust my movements and get used to the draw, where I carry the gun and all of that. As I've gotten better at carrying my gun and drawing the pistol and doing those things and done more and more practice, I've had to sort of work around the awkwardness of being a large guy. You know, the reality is I've got skin that rubs together, and I've got parts that don't flex the way other people do. So it provides some limitations, and it creates some challenges, particularly when the gear is not designed for people of size. The gear is designed with, you know, kind of ideal body type. I don't think anybody's really out there going, well, hey, let's design holsters for fat people. You know, it's not happening. And it's not just fat people. And if you don't like that word, bleep me out, I guess. But I'm fat. It's a good descriptive word. But, you know, people who are really tall have issues. People who are really short have issues. You know, people vary in size. It's just the way we are. But I think like clothing, they tend to design the gear for people that are of a particular body type, and I'm just not that type. So one of the things I've had to get used to, and I'll just back up a little bit here, is getting my shirt up over the firearm. And I think where I've landed is to do this. So I'm gripping with it, and I don't think this is probably the preferred thing in general, but I'm gripping my shirt with my gun hand to get a little help, and then doing my draw. That seems to be what's working best for me. It's not going to be quite as fast. If I were able to get the shirt clear all the time with one hand, I would be a lot better off. But the reality is, I can't do it. I don't have the twist up here, enough of it to be able to clear the shirt over my gun. And what I find is when I try and do this in drills, I lift the shirt and I catch it, and I get my hand caught on the shirt. It just doesn't work. So I've learned to adjust to this by giving it a little clearance, and it costs me a little bit of speed, but that's how I get it done. Some of the other challenges to having the gun further back are definitely trying to get the shirt to clear. It's a big part of what's kept me from moving it back there. I just can't get the shirt up over the gun appropriately if the gun is that kind of at that classic 5 o'clock position on my hip. The other problem that I have is reholstering gets a little bit of a challenge there, just because I don't have the flexibility. That's essentially the draw, and the way I've overcome it is to add an extra motion to clear the shirt up over the gun, to move the gun more to the 4 o'clock, 3:30 position, and that's just what I've had to do. Gotta shoot something. that's my take on concealed carry. No, I'm no expert, but I do have 4.5 years experience trying to, kind of noodle my way through it, being a man of size, and I thought it was worth sharing. If you're, somebody else that has a non-standard body style, and by non-standard I mean the, prototypical, the way they design the gear for, you're going to struggle in various ways, and I encourage you to share those struggles with other people. Come share them in the comment section on this video, and tell me about how you've gotten around some of those limitations or some of the hurdles you've had to jump through. Join us on Facebook or Google+. Love to see you guys there. Love to have the conversation and see it carry on there. As always, share these videos out if they mean something to you. If you find them useful, your friends might find them useful. Share the videos with them. And that helps me. It helps me to grow the channel and make more videos. All right, concealed carry. Always remember, anyone can shoot. Anyone can carry concealed. You have a right to do it. And I encourage you, go get your permit. Put your gun on your hip. The more people that have the permits, the less crime. I've read the books, I've seen the material, I fully believe that. And the more people who will actually carry their gun on their hip, the less crime. It makes a difference. Anyone can shoot, anyone can have fun shooting, and we'll see you next time.